Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, July 26, 2017. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The inaugural Criminal Justice Stakeholders All Rights Conference opened here last evening at the official residence of the Prime Minister. The conference is hosted by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions with the support of the Government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in partnership with the Regional Security System Asset Recovery Unit in Barbados. Nalisha Miller has more in this report.
Key local and regional stakeholders have come together here for the inaugural All Rights Conference to take a proactive approach in tackling the significant increase in criminal activities while defending the rule of law. The All Right Conference officially opened on Tuesday evening at the Prime Minister's residence. All Right, applying lawful responses to intercepting gangsters, hustlers and transgressors, is aimed at exploring effective applications of lawful remedies to deter and disrupt the activities of criminals and to dismantle, where they exist, criminal organizations. The forum, hosted by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and the National Prosecution Service of SVG, will focus on identifying critical issues in relation to law, justice and policing. Highlighting the impact of criminal activities on society, Director of the Regional Security System Asset Recovery Unit in Barbados, Grenville Williams called for more effective strategies to combat these activities.
The question of how to measure and improve the performance of the system and of the criminal justice process as a whole is increasingly receiving attention, as are the questions of increasing the systems of effectiveness, transparency, and accountability. This exercise that will take place over the next few days affords key local and regional stakeholders the opportunity to undertake an effective but objective examination and analysis of the criminal justice framework, identifying what works well, determining what existing tools and resources are underutilized in the system, and to give adequate and meaningful consideration to reform where necessary.
Admitting that strategies implemented in years past are no longer effective, Executive Director of the Regional Security System, the RSS, Captain Errington Sherland, identified the need for innovative ideas to effectively respond to criminals.
As a society, we all must bring it to a halt. When dealing with any problem, it is critical that we do everything to understand the root features or the root causes associated with that problem, and recognize at a particularly early stage that we cannot respond in precisely the same way that we have been responding some 30 or 40 years ago, and particularly if that response is proved to be ineffective. For years now, we in the region have been seeing an alarming decline in behavior, particularly amongst our youth and even some older persons, sometimes resulting in very serious apprehension in our countries.
Speaking on the issue of heightened criminal activities in SVG and the negative influences from regional counterparts, Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. Ralph Gonsalves stressed on the need for credibility amongst lawmen.
We have to make sure that even while we train our police officers and train those in customs and immigration and the like, we have to accept that persons who are involved themselves in fighting against criminals, sometimes we know that some of them cross the line and become engaged themselves with the criminals. We have to make sure that we weed out the bad eggs.
The conference is expected to run for 2 days and will conclude on Thursday, July 27, with a panel discussion. Nalisha Miller, The Evening News.
Over the next 2 months, the agriculture sector of the OECS sub-region is expected to see a number of positive outcomes as a result of decisions made at the 4th meeting of the Council of OECS Ministers of Agriculture, which was held here on Tuesday, July 25th. A media conference was held yesterday afternoon to give a brief overview on the outcome of the meeting. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Of the fact that the agriculture sector has and continues to play an integral role in the socio-economic development of the OECS region, Ministers of Agriculture met here on Tuesday, July 24th for the 4th meeting of the OECS Council of Ministers of Agriculture. Given a brief overview of the way forward, a press conference was held where delegates signaled their commitment in revitalizing the sector. Director General of the OECS, Dr. Didicus Jules, praised the work of all ministers and other involved parties, especially this country's own Suboto Caesar, whom he noted has and continues to push the sub-region's agriculture agenda. Speaking on the ongoing agri-shipping initiative, Dr. Jules noted that the agricultural sector will soon see greater enhancements.
The process of ensuring that we tap some of the new markets for new opportunities in agriculture, we've been able to address issues of phytosanitary regulations. We've been able to look at the routing of the ships. We've been able to tap into new sources of importation of goods. So it's given us a good opportunity to liaise with stakeholders so that they can play a more dynamic role in the exploitation of these markets.
Acknowledging the presence of private sector representatives, Minister of Agriculture Suboto Caesar signaled the need for there to be a careful analysis of the movement of produce to and from the sub-region as a way of decreasing the food import bill, which stands at over $500 million.
I know that we have done significant work here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have an established bilateral arrangement between the government and people of Grenada and the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know we benefit significantly each year from moving cattle between the islands. However, we want to ensure that what is taking place positively in this bilateral relationship, that we put it on a multilateral footing for the benefit of the stakeholders in the agricultural sector in the sub-region.
Pointing out that no country is truly independent until they can feed themselves, Minister of Agriculture of Antigua and Barbuda, Arthur Nibbs, also expressed high hopes for the agri-shipping initiative.
Foods that would not be able to pass in America or Canada or somewhere else, but they find their way into the Caribbean. And we're hoping that going forward that we can correct that in terms of the standards and the quality of food that we would have available for our people. Within the region, there is a captive market. So we just have to ensure that this initiative going forward will be beneficial to all of us. Having already begun business with the government of SVG as part of the OECS Marketing Export Initiative, private sector stakeholder representative Jai Rampasad expressed his company's elation to be a part of an initiative which strives to take the region's agriculture sector forward.
We really want to see the products of the region get market ready. And when we talk about market ready, we talk about international market ready. There is an international demand for food, and with this opportunity, we as a region needs to capitalize on it. And for us to capitalize, there's certain structures need to be put in place. And certainly with this initiative, this long overdue requirement looks to come to fruition.
The ministers of agriculture across the OECS sub-region, as well as other developmental partners and major stakeholders, are confident that the region is well poised to move into a brighter future for the agriculture sector. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Deemed as a major outcome of the 4th meeting of the OECS Council of Ministers of Agriculture, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been given a great role to spearhead the establishment of a secretariat for parliamentary fronts against hunger. That's according to Minister of Agriculture Suboto Caesar, who said it is indeed a significant move forward as they thrive to address the issue of hunger here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and throughout member states of the OECS.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines at this point in time has the only parliamentary front in the OECS, and we are going to work with other member states to ensure that in the shortest possible time that we do not only express the political will of having at the highest level a functioning body to address the issue of hunger, but that we express this in our parliaments.
Director General of the OECS, Dr. Didacus Jules, stressed the need of getting more of the region's youth involved in agriculture.
Our food import bill in the OECS stands at over half a billion US dollars. And if you think of it, just the import substitution possibilities of that market are really huge. We believe that there should be a prioritization of young people engaging in agriculture, and a lot of the efforts around this have been finding ways in which we can encourage and stimulate young farmers to get involved in the trade so that we can create a new era of prosperity in this region.
Thanking all developmental partners for their continued support, Dr. Jules expressed hope of achieving even greater success in the revitalization of the agriculture industry through initiatives such as the Agri-Shipping Initiative.
From FAO, CARDI, IECA have been very forthcoming and supportive. And as I said, we are treating this as a focal point to lead to the full implementation of the OECS Agriculture Plan of Action that would yield many things. We don't see this as just an agriculture initiative. Import substitution would mean savings for our foreign exchange savings for our countries. It would mean greater employment in rural areas, especially for young people and women. It is going to mean healthier lifestyles because it is the imported foods that are producing the non-communicable diseases. So we're quite excited about this initiative, and I think we are well poised to move into a brighter future for agriculture in the OECS.
An ease of foreign exchange and payment methods for local traders and farmers is in the pipeline. And that's according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on WeFM's Views and Issues radio program, where he explained that the challenges faced by traders and farmers to export commodities regionally have resulted in them not being properly paid. The Prime Minister said it is an issue he has also brought up at the CARICOM level.
A big issue in this country, in the rural areas, but for the country as a whole. I've raised it at CARICOM levels, raised it at the central bank repeatedly. We ourselves have worked out some particular kind of a short-term temporary solutions. It concerns our traders, particularly in agricultural commodities, who go to Trinidad, especially Barbados too, but Trinidad especially, sell the products down there and can't get the foreign exchange, so that the farmers can't get paid. Sometimes, of course, one or two traders would use that as an excuse not to pay farmers. But generally speaking, the traders don't get the foreign exchange.
PM Gonsalves said his government is working towards a feasible alternative with the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the best interest of traders by setting up an account in Trinidad where traders will be able to deposit their foreign monies.
The Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will open an account in Trinidad, and the traffickers, the traders, will pay into that account their TT dollars, the TT dollars they collect. And they will get EC money up here. Similarly, those who bring up some TT dollars could deposit the money here and will get EC dollars. Of course, it's better if they deposit down there, because we can then use those TT dollars down there to pay some bills down there. Commodities which we import now.
Yes.
Students whom we have to transfer money to, who in Trinidad. And we can do we can do all the accounting up here.
The Prime Minister noted that he understands the hardship of both traders and farmers and assured them that the payment account will bring about some ease.
This will help the farmers. I mean, it's painful, I tell you. I mean, I represent a constituency, a rural constituency, and it's heart-rending to see after farmers had to go through all vicissitudes of farming, the weather, landslides, inputs, credit. They even have to go through some thief man who want thief the produce. And finally, when they sell the produce, and they're expecting that when the trafficker comes back up from Trinidad, they will get the money. They're told that they can't get they can't get the foreign exchange. That is the TT money is in Trinidad.
Industrial Relations and Research Officer of the SVG Teachers Union, Otto Sam, said the government should be more responsible and follow the laws of the land. Speaking at a media conference on Tuesday in relation to his transfer case where he was awarded damages by the court, Sam said he finds it interesting that the government will mandate that each citizen follow the laws of the land, but has so far refused to obey a court ruling which went in his favor.
In my case and in a number of other cases, the state, the court, and these guys are officers of the court makes a ruling, and the same state, with the same Minister of Legal Affairs, with the same Attorney General, the same cabinet, who ought to be the executive and to act as the executive, would defy the court. And we wonder why there's so much lawlessness in this country. Because if those to whom much is given do not obey the law, then what do we expect of the common man? You know, and it's just sad the way we're going. So I normally want to see it that way, that if you could demand by law that the Beckwith citizens pay for their garbage disposal, if the same law says that this person should be paid by the state, then the state should honor it. The state need to become responsible.
Speaking on an issue involving the Service Commission, in which he accused the department of refusing to recognize degrees it has approved study leave for, Sam said the situation appears that the state is conning the people.
These teachers would have engaged the heirs of the accreditation board, and the accreditation board writes to the chief personnel officer and say, hold on, this is a state that told them that facilitated their training, and now you cannot simply say to them that you don't know how to pay them, you don't recognize their degree. At least organize for them to have training again so that they can upgrade. But after 6 and 7 years, the Public Service Commission has done not a single thing in these sort of cases. And people are still languishing after 5 years of study, being certified, approved area of study by the Public Service Commission. You are told that it's not recognized and we do not know which grade to pay you. And it almost amounts to the state conning its own citizen.
Highlighting another issue which he said the union considers unfair is the case involving the transfer of 3 police officers of the Police Welfare Association. Sam said their transfer without a hearing is unjust.
And transfer them left, right and center without giving them a hearing. And again, it speaks, Justice Esco Henry says, I am satisfied that the surrounding circumstances demonstrated an embarrassing lack of knowledge of fundamental procedures among several functionaries. There are a whole lot of high-ranking functionaries in this society who do not understand the basic law. And therefore you cannot transfer the officers. If there's an allegation and you think it warrants a charge, then you probably put them on leave and then charge them. But you cannot punish them by way of transfer without giving them a hearing. And so the whole issue of justice, the whole issue of fairness, the whole issue of reasonableness.
A number of teachers across SVG are benefiting from a capacity building workshop hosted by the SVG Teachers Union and the Ministry of Education and the Canadian Teachers Federation at the Girls High School. A team leader of the Canadian Teachers Federation, Robert Mackey, said the workshop, which will conclude on Friday, is an excellent avenue for teachers to receive further training to perform their duties.
Where we've implemented a new area, it's called TVET, Technical Vocational Educational Training, and that's been received wonderfully. So we hope to expand on that on the years to come, but some of the activities they've done in the vocational are the ladies made a flare skirt, we've done table setting, we're going to change a tire in the parking lot, we're going to make an electrical cord. So we're showing the teachers the pedagogy, the methodology of showing their students how to teach practical skills. We also have ICT, computers, math, science, and ELA, English. And we're concentrating this year on all students, helping all students, not just the academic students, but leaving those students behind.
President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, noted that the interaction between the teachers and the facilitators have been good thus far.
And I'm very happy from what has happened so far. We also have a trade union component where we talk to the teachers about their rights, the legal framework, professionalism, the code of conduct, the civil service orders, and so on. Benefits in being a member of the Teachers Union. We have language arts, we have maths, we also have ICT, TVET, which is introduced for the first time. And it's a holistic program, caters for every need. And the social interaction with the Canadians and our local tutors, that is also a high point.
Math instructor from the Canadian Teachers Federation, Lindsay Reed, said the participation has been excellent and highlighted some of the teaching techniques in maths being taught.
We looked at the three-part lesson plan. That's very important that the teachers have the proper format so that they can incorporate all of the necessary items for your lesson plan to make your lesson plan more successful. The students were able to, or the participants, sorry, were able to write their own lesson plans, and then in the end they each got about 5 different lesson plans to take home that they can use in their classroom. We looked at assessing students, how best to assess students, and remediation. We gave them a lot of activities that they can do in their classroom, and these activities that we gave them, they can change them to fit the needs of the students, to fit the different grade levels, to fit the different topics within math. So they took home a lot of material, a lot of information that we hope will be very useful for them. So
it is not all work for the teachers attending the capacity building training workshop, as educators are being engaged in some fun activities. That was to commemorate Canada Day today. Team leader of the Canadian Teachers Federation, Robert Mackey, spoke on some of the activities the teachers were involved with.
Today is Canada Day. You're going to hear lots of noise. Right now behind me we have curling, we have Jeopardy, Canada Jeopardy questions, we have hockey, and we have Canadian dance. So we're here trying to break up the hard work that everybody's working on and have a little bit of fun. So today, once again, laughter, dance, fun, singing, everybody's here to enjoy themselves. So the activities, curling is played on ice. We slide and we try to throw a rock and see who gets the rock, curly rock, the closest to the center. Jeopardy, we have many Canadian trivia questions, and we hope to be able to show you some dance going on, some folk dance going on. But as you can hear, there's lots of noise and fun going on in the background.
President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said the activities serve as a way of boosting the teaching capacity of the teachers.
Today is what we call Canada Day. So the Canadians are doing a number of fun activities engaging the teachers so that the teachers can go back to their classroom and utilize some of these activities to assist them in making school much more interesting, much more fun-filled. You know, because we have a number of students who come from homes and they need some form of excitement to boost their interest about school and schooling. Yeah, and things have been going quite well so far.
Facilitators of the Botanical Gardens have received a donation of tools to assist in the upkeep of the facility. The donation was made by the non-profit group Friends of the Botanic Gardens, who is a long-time supporter of the oldest botanic gardens in the Western Hemisphere. At a handing over ceremony on Tuesday, member of the group Susan Duggan said their collaboration with the Botanical Garden is part of their efforts to support and assist in developing the tourism product of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Our group, the Friends of the Botanic Gardens, has been set up to assist in a private-public partnership so that we can bring our expertise, we can bring our support to the gardens. And our group is called the Friends of the Botanic Gardens. We've been making contributions since 2014. In fact, we have contributed a lawnmower, large lawnmower, and other implements. But this afternoon, we are going to present a blower to the gardens, something that is really needed.
Director of National Parks, Andrew Wilson, highlighted the ongoing need for maintenance equipment at the Botanic Gardens and urged the private sector to get on board.
Which we have been very, very appreciative of, and currently still use many of these implements and equipment to help us with the maintenance of the Botanical Gardens. We obviously have an ongoing need for either a replacement or upgrade of our equipment, and we're always very appreciative when we could have persons from the private sector or NGO community who are willing to contribute and see a need where they could contribute something meaningful that could assist us in providing a useful piece of equipment, tool, or machinery that helps us to upkeep and maintain the gardens at a fairly acceptable and commendable standard that persons both locally and our foreign visitors will be able to come to the gardens and enjoy the beauty and its surroundings in a well-kept condition. I would also like to encourage our own workers here at the Botanical Gardens to be good stewards of the equipment and supplies that would be received today from the Friends of the Botanical Gardens, and hopefully it will help them also to be more efficient and cost-effective in being able to undertake their work. And I think they also will be very appreciative of the equipment that will be received today and has been received in the past.